How often do you ask yourself, are you living the American dream? It may depend on your age, but a new survey finds just 4% of retirees say that they are, and just as many say they are living a nightmare. Most retirees say their top concern right now is inflation, followed by higher than expected healthcare costs and a major market downturn that may significantly reduce their assets. But is a retirement crisis brewing? Joining us now, Ted Jenkin, personal finance expert and CEO and co-founder of Oxygen Financial. This sounds very gloomy, Ted. This is not what we want to hear, a retirement nightmare that folks are living. What are some of the factors contributing to people struggling right now financially in their retirement years?
Well, good morning to you, Marnie. And I think this is a lot about the old adage that happiness is about expectations met or unmet. So I think a lot of people are not living the dream because they're just not living up to expectations. This is the time in people's lives where they expected to be carefree, not have to be careful about their money. So I think a lot of people financially ran financial plans assuming a 3% inflation. Inflation's been at 5 or 6%. They didn't expect that they would have healthcare costs as high and having to take care of their adult kids, let alone, Marnie, the millions of people on Social Security that are barely treading water with cost of living adjustments. All of that is making people not living the dream.
So what do they do now to try to make ends meet if they didn't properly prepare or they find themselves struggling month to month?
I think you have to look at your expenses right now if you're in retirement and say, what are the things that I absolutely need and what are the things that I absolutely want? What I'm finding, Marnie, is a lot of people are going back and getting second jobs. That could be as simple as selling old items on eBay or doing something on Etsy or getting a part-time job in the town or city that they live in. But for right now, if inflation stays as high as it is with food cost and travel cost, entertainment and healthcare, people are going to have to do it on one side or the other, either trim their budget or they're going to have to figure out how to bring in an extra $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month to make ends meet.
And how much of a headache is the added healthcare cost? How much is that contributing to some of the challenges?
I mean, it's pretty massive, Marnie. I mean, I think in general, when you look at inflation being at that 4 or 5%, we're seeing healthcare costs be up 5 or 10%. And as I mentioned, there are many people now in their late 50s and 60s who weren't expecting to have to shell out dollars for kids in their 20s right now. So they're getting caught on both sides of it. You have rising prices and inflation, you've got healthcare costs, and then taking care of adult kids. All of that are factors right now, and people didn't save enough to plan for all of that.
So when you talk about expectations for those who are young now but looking ahead to retirement, at what point should we all start saving and setting those goals for retirement?
I'm actually kind of worried about it, Marnie, because I think we have a debt crisis along the way. I think a lot of millennials and Gen Zs have basically said, you know, I'm never going to be able to retire, so I might as well, either some people call it revenge shopping or spending today, or they call it doomsday spending. People are just spending a lot of money today. You can never start too soon, even if getting up to the match in your 401k plan or starting a Roth IRA. But I fear there are a lot of younger people right now that are saying, you know, Marnie, I'm never going to get Social Security. I'm never going to retire. So I might as well just enjoy my money today. That scares me a little bit.
Right, because that can backfire, right? I mean, when the money runs out, then what do you do? And you've got a long life, hopefully, ahead of you.
Well, in the old days, it was a three-legged stool for retirement. You got a pension, Social Security, and you saved up money. Today, Marnie, it's a pogo stick. You either save or you don't. That's how you retire.
Boy, and re-envisioning what retirement looks like. I'm sure a lot of people getting, Ted, pretty creative in trying to picture what that might be for them.
Well, I certainly wouldn't follow the Joneses on social media, Marnie, because those Joneses are going broke right now. I think people need to realize that the real wealth that you have are in friends and family. And there are a lot of things today that are free. Not everybody has to take a 2-week vacation in Italy or do front row seats for Taylor Swift. It's the way we're spending today. But a lot of people play bocce ball in retirement and things like that and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the people that you spend your time with, it's worth more than money can buy. Ted, thanks on this Memorial Day for being with us. Some good advice there as we all plan and think about how we live out our retirements well.
Thanks, Marnie.